Welcome back to the final part of this celebration today. I would like to pass on to Yves Lambert, who will be leading you through this last session of today. And thank you for participating. It's been great to see you here, and it's been wonderful to be able to make the celebrations this quite dynamic way. We couldn't meet, but I think it's been really very interactive and dynamic. So thank you for so far.
Thank you, Lone. And as you say, it's now time to move on to the last part of the session today, where we will speak to the new national alliances, the new national alliance for Romania and then for the United States. I think that we have Emilia already on board. So as it is ladies first, I would like to give the word to Emilia from the University of Bucharest. Emilia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Yves. So I'm very happy that we reached a point in Romania to found the National Alliance. For the last 10 years, I was a member of the board of directors in the International Alliance from the very beginning, and I was enthusiastic always about its concept, and I tried to disseminate and increase awareness in Romania among professionals and among the public in general. What is active house and what is the difference between active house concept and many other concepts regarding sustainable buildings. And we tried last year to found this alliance. Because of the pandemic, we had to postpone a little bit, but now we are happy to announce that we are almost done with the foundation of this national alliance. And its president will be a young architect from the University of Architecture in Bucharest, Daniel Armenciu. I don't know if he's present. He was having classes at the university because I want also to present him. And I promise to support him because, as I said earlier, I think that a successful team is between architects and engineers. And I noticed that in most of the projects presented today, the scores in energy were the lowest. So I think those teams missed an engineer in their project to propose, to design systems that can help use less energy and more green energy in general. So I promised to Daniel to be a team, and I'm happy that he agreed with that, and he's very excited to lead this association. And we have already the support of some important companies in Romania, and not only. So when we say active house, most of the people know about it, and this makes me happy and pleased about, what I did these 10 years and was not so obvious. It's not easy to change people's mind. So I try to contribute to specifications, guidelines, and the tools with the energy part, and I hope I did well. And now I want to give the floor, the speech, let's say, to Daniel to say a few words. Oh, we don't hear you.
You're on mute, I think.
You don't seem to be muted, but we can't hear you, unfortunately. I'm so sorry.
That's strange.
We'll give Daniel a few seconds.
Yes, to try and figure out what's wrong.
Maybe you have to allow your microphone.
He's a bit under pressure.
Oh, no, don't worry.
He's teaching on sustainable buildings at this university. So he will have, like Marco Imperadori, the chance to design nice buildings together with his students, and also send proposals, for the awards.
If Daniel, if you have a headset, it will be good.
Well, I think he will come back somehow. I just tried.
No.
We don't hear you.
No.
Don't use Safari, because I had problems with Safari. I had to change to Chrome in case you use an Apple, a Macintosh.
You don't have headsets?
Okay, so we have many objectives, nice objectives in promoting the concept of active house, in educating students in this spirit of having well-being, health, and the productivity in the buildings, exactly like Professor said earlier, and just to improve the way we approach buildings, in the sense of covering holistically all these aspects, well-being, being said that it's more general than just health, well-being, health, and energy and environment, to also help changing the legal framework in order to emphasize more the health conditions, because nowadays it's just energy and environment, and it's exactly what we promote from the very beginning. The first role of the buildings is to ensure health and well-being of the users, and this is a sine qua non condition when deciding on other aspects of the buildings, other parameters, because otherwise we simply don't use energy, but it's not good for health. So we want also to organize competitions, trainings, and stimulating research activities in teams, multidisciplinary teams, to ensure the best possible projects, and collect also feedback from the users whenever possible. Okay, so
Can we try again, Daniel? Daniel, we heard a sound. Did it come from you? No.
No, still not working. Emilia, if I understand you well, the Romanian government is still talking about energy efficiency, and the part on health has not gone through yet.
Not very much. We do have, of course, we have regulations and, legal norms how to ensure health, but people are looking too much at saving energy, and we need also educating users, not only designers, because what was said earlier is that a very good project can be destroyed by the users very soon. So one aspect is the design, the building itself, and then the users, the user behavior. So there are many things to do, but anyway, whenever people speak about sustainable buildings, they emphasize energy and environment. They forget about health. So this is where we come and say we need to emphasize more conditions for well-being and attract people to live happily inside, and to forget about those ugly schools.
I think we can hear you, Daniel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, finally.
That's great. I changed the computer. I don't know what's happened.
Okay.
Glad to have you on board.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much. Many thanks to Professor Mladin for supporting the foundation of Romanian National Alliance for Active House. And many thanks to the organizers of this 10th anniversary of Active House Alliance. I think that Active House Romania is indeed a very good perspective for disseminating the Active House Alliance philosophy. But more than this, and in the same time for contributing to Romania's big steps for achieving the goals of sustainable development in the construction field. Now, if it's possible, I don't know, I think I lost a bit of time to list a bit some of the objectives of the National Alliance, if it's possible. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, the first objective would be the affiliation of the International Alliance and activation as a professional ONG and as a national alliance called Active House Romania. Then it would be the idea of promoting the principles of sustainability to the built environment, which are actually the main aspects of Active House philosophy, such as energy performance, comfort, human health, as the subject that was previously discussed, protection of the environment, of using materials with low impact, and reducing the harmful emissions. Then a big idea, I think it would be the stimulation of research, development, innovation activities in order to increase the level of services and products for sustainable constructions. Development of knowledge and training of specialists is also a very important objective of our association. Then the activation of this field in research and education on the aspects of sustainability and generally on the built environment. It would be an important input, I think, the participation in the development of the legislative or normative framework in Romania, and why not in the European Union, in the field of construction by collaborating with public authorities, institutions, civil society, or maybe others. Then representing the interests of association members, of developing economic relations, knowledge transfer, good practices, the exchange of experiences at national and international level. And maybe one of the last objective, but the last but not least, the increasing of efficiency and competitiveness of services. Systems of products provided by Active House philosophy, by the members of the association itself, respecting the ethics and the free competition laws. In the end, I'd like to thank you again and to transmit the joy for this important initiative of becoming a national alliance. We hope that together our activities will significate an important step for the worldwide future regarding the natural and the built environment in the same time. Thank you very much again, and I hope that in the future we can develop important projects and make big steps on this forward.
Okay, thank you very much. And in the name of all the Active House members, I wish you the best of success in the coming years to grow the Active House Alliance in Romania.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Nadej is the next, is the Active House Alliance in the United States. Is that Jacob Staub coming up? Yes. So welcome to Jacob Staub. He is representing the National Active House Alliance in the United States. To introduce Jacob, Jacob is the CTO for, oh, sorry, it's David Knight coming up. or both? Well, I'll start with Jacob. Jacob is the CTO for Ripcord, and he is a former naval aviator. And for those who don't know what a naval aviator is, just think of Top Gun and Tom Cruise. So you have him on board. And then we have also David Knight from the Monterey Energy Group on board. And well, guys, you have the floor. Can you tell us what the plans for the National Active House Alliance in the United States is doing?
Yes, thank you for the kind introduction. David is going to be our presenter today, and I'll let him proceed with his presentation he's developed.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I got to get my screen up.
It takes a little while. Okay, there he goes.
Okay, you can see the screen, correct?
Yes. Yes.
All right, great. Well, good morning, everyone. Well, sorry, it's morning here. I'm actually on the west coast of the United States, out in California. Jacob's in the East Coast, and so it's lunchtime for him almost, and it's nice and early out here. Active House was just an idea 2 months ago. In that short time, we have already been approved by the Active House Alliance and evaluated our first project. Active House USA is a partnership between two residential-focused mechanical engineering firms and an HVAC and controls manufacturing company. It's an honor to introduce our Active House USA team and describe in part our Active House plans. My name again is David Knight, and I'm the founder of a mechanical engineering company and energy consulting company called the Monterey Energy Group. The market in the USA for Active House is huge. In an average year, close to 1 million new housing units are built, and even more are remodeled, significantly remodeled. It is impractical to think that we can evaluate that many projects in a year, but it is not impractical to think that we can make Active House a household name. In the few weeks since we've been awarded the rights to the Active House franchise, we have secured the access to emails of over 110,000 USA architects and builders. Soon we will be offering free web-based Active House training, so pretty much every architect and the builder in the country will have access to what we think is going to be extraordinarily useful training. We market through education, and since Active House offers the best ideas, we believe this will be extremely well received. Our goal is to make Active House process not just a household name, but a common goal amongst projects in the United States. Real briefly, here is some background information on our Active House team. Masana manufactures a variety of very high quality HVAC systems, mostly hydronic, as well as a very unique line of controls. We often design homes and businesses with these systems in order to maximize comfort, efficiency, and indoor air quality. Masana controls not only activate any HVAC heating and cooling system, they can also and do control balanced ventilation systems based on CO2 levels. At the same time, Masana controls monitor indoor air temperatures, humidity, CO2 levels, as well as the energy consumption of the building. These controls are absolutely perfect for Active House certification and to confirm that when we design systems, they're working precisely as designed. Ripcord Engineering is the East Coast's very best residential-focused mechanical engineering firm. Their level of detail make the most complicated of systems and structures easily manageable. Like Jacob Saab, who's also on the presentation, is the managing partner. They're again in the very northeast part of the United States, and they do a variety of very, very sophisticated mechanical and plumbing engineering. Ripcord performs precise energy models and then designs HVAC systems to meet the building, the clients, and the planet's highest goals. Ripcord designs are easy to bid, easy to build, and if done according to plans, work perfectly, which is exactly what mechanical engineers are supposed to do. Ripcord only designs systems that optimize human comfort, provide excellent indoor air quality, as well as overall energy efficiency. Ripcord's unrelenting pursuit of perfect HVAC systems make them a great active house advocate, evaluator, and partner. 38 years ago, I founded the Monterey Energy Group. Since then, we have become California's leading residential-focused mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers, as well as solar engineers, as well as energy efficiency consultants. We've been preaching the active house process, or at least a relatively mellow California version, since our inception. We did not know much about active house, or even that it existed 2 months ago, and we are absolutely thrilled to help grow the active house brand, and most importantly, the building philosophy. You will soon see that California is the perfect home for active house. So the USA is a very, very big country, or relatively big country. Our first project was located on the very East Coast, just outside of New York City on Long Island. That was our first approved, certified or evaluated active house. Ripcord Engineering, that did the mechanical engineering, is located up here in the very northeast corner, up here in Maine. The architect for the New York project was actually down here in San Antonio, Texas, a company called Lake Flato. Lake Flato just happens to be the #1 rated architectural firm in the United States. So we were tremendously honored to get to work with them on our first active house process. Masana, the manufacturing company, is located out here in California, in Santa Cruz, California, which is about 60 miles south of San Francisco, right at the top end of the Monterey Bay. My company, the Monterey Energy Group, is located 30 miles south of Santa Cruz in Carmel, California, just right across the bay. Our second active house project, and the first one in California, which I'll describe in a bit, is in Santa Barbara, California, which is about 250 miles south of Carmel and about, I think it's like 70 or 90 miles north of Los Angeles. Here is our first active house. And again, this was designed by a very prolific architectural firm called Lake Flato. Let's see, this classic design is, not only beautiful, but it meets pretty much all of the active house goals. It is comfortable, healthy, efficient, and sustainable. Through the process, we were patiently and professionally guided through the complete active house process by Gunther of Italy. I would try to give you Gunther's last name, but I would butcher it so bad it's not, it would be offensive. So I'm sure you guys know he's somewhere in northern Italy. I asked, anyway, all 9 attributes were reviewed, and for the most part, the results were fantastic. Here's our radar. So as you can see, our first project scored quite well. Average score of 1.7. We scored 1s in daylighting, thermal comfort, and just a bit higher in indoor air quality and acoustics. The owner and the architect were thrilled with the design process, and most importantly, the results. The team obviously includes the owner, and I always want to stress how important the owner is in these processes. Lake Flato, the architectural firm, Jacob's firm, Ripcord Engineering, and Gunther really helped get Active House USA off to a great start. Santa Barbara, one of California's most beautiful cities, is the home of our second active house project. Located about 90 miles north of Los Angeles, an oil spill in 1969 is considered the starting point for the USA's environmental movement. Over 50 years later, the environmental consciousness is as strong as ever. I have heard that a home with active house with a radar of all 1s is really not very practical, or it's too expensive. In fact, it may not be possible at all. However, we think this first California project might just be an exception. The owner of this project happens to be a big-time architect located in Santa Barbara, and he wants to showcase his talents and his commitment to build the most healthy, efficient, sustainable house possible. This project is similar to many homes being built and or remodeled in California. What I mean by that is our homes have become much more than just homes. They've evolved into being offices, schools, gyms, spas, vacation rentals, you name it. Our houses wear many hats. emphasizing the human aspect into the design is more important than ever. Human comfort, daylighting, indoor air quality, zonability of the HVAC system, reducing unwanted noise, and with the help, all of this can be somewhat quantified with the help and guidance from Active House. We believe this will become standard practice, and that is certainly our goal. Here are some of the features of this home. Santa Barbara, and to be honest, most of California outside of some of the mountain regions of Yosemite and Lake Tahoe, most of California has a perfect climate. It's very sunny, it's relatively warm, so the combination of solar electric and air source heat pumps is not just a nice way to provide, electricity and HVAC and domestic hot water. It's not just maybe the right way to do it. It's by far the most efficient and cost-effective way of doing it. California has incredible rules that promote solar, mainly annual net metering. And again, we have a lot of sunshine, so that absolutely helps. Any rate, and this house is, again, like many California projects, there's a home, there's an accessory dwelling unit, which the owner is using for an adult, I think it's his daughter and son-in-law. It's a home office. And so anyway, the house is using the solar. Let me back up a second. The solar system is sized not just to provide all for the lights and appliance, plug-in loads, HVAC, domestic hot water, but it's also supplied for all three structures. But it's also sized to do the all the outdoor uses, swimming pool filter pump, that sort of thing, and an electric car going about 15,000 miles a year. So the house is true zero net energy. The house is using high performance walls and roof, for not just thermal performance, but also for the acoustics, for reducing noise transmission between the buildings and the street. Also for fire protection. Santa Barbara has been subject to some forest fires. So, the building envelope had to meet many requirements. There are 2 CO2 controlled energy recovery ventilators to making sure we're providing fresh filtered preconditioned air. And there's a very well sized and designed heating and cooling system. The windows are also high performance. And as you can see, the house will have ample daylighting. To further make the case that this house has a chance to score all ones on the Active House radar, there were 2 trees that had to be removed in order to build the home. Both are being reused for the project siding, flooring, and a lot of the framing lumber. This project is setting the Active House bar very high, but the truth is, it's exactly what this California architect wanted all along. A month ago, the owner, the architect, had no idea about Active House or what it was. Now he does, and I believe he will pretty much only design Active House in something that meets the Active House criteria in the future. Over the last month or so, we have reached out to a few potential, I just want to reiterate, we've been at this for 2 months, and so we've made some progress. And so we've spoken to a number of companies about potentially being sponsors. And we've had great response, but it's still a little bit early. All of the work to date has been self-funded, and we are still running our respective businesses. So our days get eaten up pretty quickly. Anyway, we hope when we meet again, we will be able to demonstrate great progress. Thanks for the opportunity to help USA build healthy homes for people and the planet. Thanks.
Thank you very much, David. Maybe just 2 simple questions. When we're talking about legislation and building regulations, is there a federal regulation you have to comply to, or is it different from state to state?
Yeah, it's very different from state to state. California has been very aggressive, both in an energy code to reduce energy consumption. We have a solar mandate for new homes. The code requirements for indoor air quality is more national, or at least the standard, ASHRAE 62.2. All of our HVAC systems have to be designed to the Air Conditioning Contract Association of America, ACA Manual JD&S. But almost everyone we work with wants more, a lot more. And there's no code requirement to be true zero net energy, but it's become a very common goal. There's no code requirement that requires battery storage, but for emergency preparedness reasons and just for the right thing to do, it's become, more and more common. And the big thing that with between COVID and everyone working at home, the idea of healthy homes is no longer becomes something that's on somebody's checklist, maybe, but it's coming to the top of many, many projects. The active house process perfectly meets what most Californians want to do, and it gives us a way for us to quantify it. And I think it's going to be extraordinarily popular.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, am I correct in saying then that the active house specification goes beyond the regulation, the current regulation?
Absolutely, in almost every way. But it was ways I think both Jacob and I would say that our companies have been leading the architects and the owners and the contractors toward. But they're such logical steps, and that, because one of the things we do get, and from some owners, not all, they say, yeah, you're an engineering company, and yeah, you've got some experience, but prove it to us that we're going to have really good indoor air quality or really good comfort or this or that. And so that's part of what we like. The other thing that I think we're going to be able to bring to the table is really good monitoring of projects once they're built. The Masana controls are sophisticated enough to give results that are going to be extraordinary. I mean, what on a 24-hour-a-day basis, CO2 levels and temperatures and things, and energy consumption are all things that can be controlled. And I think that's going to be, it's going to hold us to a very high standard.
Okay.
I would just add that to your question, the requirements vary from state to state, and we have 50 states. They're somewhat uniform, but they change from region to region. But what we've found, at least from our experience as a small group anyway, is that what Active House identifies as relevant standards to comply with are universally recognized by the clientele as viable things that should be pursued.
Yeah, you don't build a house to be energy efficient. You build a house where you feel right and where you feel comfortable in.
Yeah, exactly. And I mentioned that there are about 1 million new housing starts in the United States each year. And a lot of those are tract homes. And for the most part, we work on some tract developments, but they're like the hardest people in the world to convince to do anything that's not going to just make sure the house sells with the greatest profit margin as fast as possible. But I've spoken to a few tract developers, and they're going, well, you know what? We would love to have some sort of label that is practical, that's speaking to health, speaking to comfort, speaking to efficiency, speaking to sustainability, speaking to overall, solar contribution. And so I think there's a market there as well. The other thing that the governments are really pushing, especially in California, is kind of increased density. For the most part, our development over the years has been sprawl, and they're really trying to focus, greater density. Family size is lower than it used to be, and there's a lot of codes that are encouraging accessory dwelling units on single family lots, or increase or zoning benefits to multifamily. Well, what that brings in is the acoustics challenge. And again, keeping unwanted noise out of projects is now becoming one of the architects' main focuses, which a year ago I would have never heard, or no one would have ever asked. Basically, I've been waiting for Active House for 38 years. Where the hell have you people been? I mean, this is exactly what, this is exactly where construction, is evolving to. And I can't tell you how excited, we are to be a part of it. I had heard of Active House a few years ago, and I just said, well, boy, wouldn't that be great? And then Jacob and the Francesco from Masana approached us, and I just couldn't be happier with the opportunity.
Okay. I would love to continue to talk, but time is moving very fast. So I would like to thank you very much for the presentation, and I wish you all the best and the biggest of success and hope to see you in person at the next symposium or speak in a physical form. Okay.
You
That's
bet.
great. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're now close to the end of the anniversary celebration, and I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who have generously helped to make this event come together to become a success. We couldn't have done it without you. My very special thanks also to the Secretariat, to Nadege and Alberto. You did a great job. Thank you very much for joining us, and hope to see you soon in the Active House Conference in Rotterdam in 2022. And I would like to end with a quote from Barack Obama. I hope you can see this. If you're walking down the right path, and I think we're moving along the right path with the Active House, and you're willing to keep walking, what I mean here is that we do that together, and then eventually we'll make progress. We'll move slowly. That's what we've shown in the last 10 years. We're moving slowly, but we are getting there. And there's no use in running because sometimes you miss things. Let's just continue walking along the way, and let's do it together. And then we'll finally get where we want, that we have as many active houses as possible. So again, thank you very much. I'm a very happy chairman, and hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.